This is what it takes on most days. Both hands. How's everybody doing out there today? I'm just getting done with my working out and feeding my mind and stuff like that. The dog's out here running around. I wanted to talk about a couple of things this morning. Really just one big one. Certainty and uncertainty. It's something about being a certain person. I don't mean a certain kind of person. I mean having certainty in your life versus someone who has uncertainty in their lives. It's something about knowing that your job is going to be there, knowing that you're going to do certain things every time. I mean, you're certain about these things. And when something goes amiss or awry, you can lose your mind. And it's something about the people who live an uncertain life, like myself. When something goes wrong, it's just something that goes wrong. You adjust to it, you adapt, or you fucking die. That's the reality of an uncertain person versus a certain person. But it's something how we try to find that balance where we can be one and the same, where I can be a certain person that feels comfortable. I'm going to my job, I'm going to get paid, and I can also have that uncertainty about some mystery that I'm not aware of, or something behind some curtain. You know what? Believe it or not, that shit is difficult. Most people that are certain go to jobs, that's what they do. They wake up, set a clock by them. Always going to be at work. I mean, and they need that. They need that certainty. It's an interesting thing. I grew up in a house where one of my parents needed certainty and my other parent lived in the world of uncertainty. My mom worked for the county. She was an eligibility worker. She worked there for probably 30 plus years. My dad was a product maker. His last job was when I was 13 years old, 13 or 14 years old. My dad invented a product and he never went back to the work world. Whatever went down, up, down, high, my dad adapted, adjusted, and survived. And I watched that kind of reality vacillating my thoughts from working that job day in and day out versus, Jesus, I can go do this and make $10,000 in a few weeks, in a month, or whatever. Because that's the world an uncertainty person lives in. You know who lives in uncertainty? Entrepreneurs. They live in uncertainty. We gotta love them. Jesus. They are people who it's not as much as taking a chance. It's not as much as being risky. They just see something different. They don't get into that regular millhouse work mentality that people that need that certainty get into. They're into the unknown. And the crazy thing about the unknown, it's shaky. There might not be a paycheck. And there probably will be a paycheck. Big paycheck, small paycheck, little paycheck. I don't know. I'm working for love. I mean, all of these kinds of things happens when you are living an uncertain life. And when we look at, because I say we, because I am one of these uncertain people, when we look at the certain people and we have this envious type of feeling, it's such a mistake. 1 second. Joy, get over here. I'm outside. A lot kind of guy. It's such a mistake. You know, when I look at a person who lives in certainty, and I've known a few of them in my life, I find myself, and sometimes unbeknownst to them, and sometimes I've shared it, that boy, I wish I knew what it was like to have this 2-week paid vacation and work at a job 7, 8 years. Jeez, I kind of felt like maybe I'm missing out on something. But what I didn't realize until they shared it with me, my friends who lived that certain life, they were always not envious, but they always wanted to do the shit that I was doing. I'm an actor. I'll create some shit. I will rent my lawnmower when I was a kid to other people to cut their grass. I mean, boom. This is just how I operated and how I saw life as just, an opportunity to do something different, an opportunity to find a new way, and that opportunity in every one of them wrapped in uncertainty. And that's who I eventually gravitated to. But it's taken me years to get to this person, to this knowledgeable, this giving person. It took a while to get there. I knew I was always like that. Always like to help people. Anybody that knows me, Mike Lee, you know I like to help people. I remember when my first wife was about to have the baby. We were going to the hospital. I pulled over to help somebody. She was so pissed off. Her name's Carla. Totally pissed off. But that's who I was then. That's who I truly am now. I enjoy it. And right now, it's one of those kind of crazy. I'm in one of these kind of crazy times in my life where I'm finally moving in a direction which I should have been in years ago. I'm in the eat what you kill business. That means, Joy, calm down. That means I don't eat if I don't kill. I got to go out and sell something to make some money. That is the business I'm in. That's because I'm one of those kind of people. Something about an hourly job, there's nothing wrong with it. The certainty that it brings when you work an hourly job. My God, it's a great thing. It's comfortable. It sucks you into a place of complacency. It sucks you into mediocrity. That's what a certain reality will do. Having that, because I'm going to be at work. My job's there. Boom. This all you know, because that's that certainty that you need. If you deal with somebody that doesn't feel that way, that is an uncertain type of person, live in that uncertain world, love them. They will give that uncertain person a charge, an energy, because the person who lives in certainty, let me tell you, they get bored. I know they do. They don't feel they're progressing. They just can get so bored. I was that person, or I tried to be that person. I would quit the job because I saw no growth. I wasn't growing personally. I didn't see any type of growth. And I guess I have that kind of personality. I guess I have that kind of personality. I need to see progress. I need to see something happening. That's what. And if nothing's happening, then I'm just going to go look over there. Or I'm going to go look over there. Or I'm going to go look down there. I'm going to go look over there. Because you know what? There's something around each corner, under something, over something. And that charges me. I love that shit. It can be difficult because I woke up this morning with a smile in my heart and a bunch of fucking debt. So, that's just the nature of the beast. 1 second. There you go. Go. Joy likes to run around. So listen, if you are one of those type of people who live in certainty, hey, God bless you. We love you. All this uncertain, entrepreneur-ish, wantrepreneurs, we love that. We just can't really exist in your world like you probably couldn't exist in ours. It's something about bringing that together. That person who enjoys that certainty, working with that individual who lives in uncertainty. That individual that lives in uncertainty can bring something for that certain person to do. Keep in mind, most of the products that we deal with, they're made by people who live in uncertainty. They're entrepreneurs. They're just exploring. They don't know where shit's going to go. But the person with certainty, once something gets going and it turns into something like a manufacturing thing or something that you're producing on a regular basis, that's where they can live and that's where they can just grow in their minds. They're really not growing. They're just working a job. They're not creating. They're just working a job. My father always told me there are more sheep than wolves out here. And it's for good reason. Find out if you're a sheep or if you're a wolf. Find out if mundane and repetition and certainty is something that you have to live with. You can't get away from it. Or find out if you're somebody who variety is truly the spice of life kind of person. You know, it's just identifying who you are. And all of this conversation only applies to adults. Children, just don't set the house on fire. You guys have the awesome responsibility of just being alive when you're a kid. Parents, you know you have to guide these kids. You have to find out, does my kid live in certainty, or does my kid live in uncertainty? Is my kid going to be the guy that's going to work, or the guy that's going to work at the job day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out? Or is my kid going to be an actor, work on a job for a couple of weeks and on to the next job, or be a singer or a songwriter or something? Just, we just don't know how it's going to turn out, but we do know it's exciting. Parents, find out who your children are. And when you find out who your children are, nurture that. And it's good to find out when they're young. You can nurture that, because nature won't help you there. You got to nurture that. You got to point them in that direction. You got to see that your kid, your offspring, your seed is not someone that will thrive in that world of certainty. They need that uncertain reality, that thrill, that charge, that not knowing. Find that out about your kids. It'll be an interesting thing. Trust me. You'll be surprised. You might be a guy who works a job every day, and you got a kid that doesn't see it like that. That kid is not an asshole, a loser, or a bum. That kid is a person who lives in uncertainty. So point them in a direction, in an industry where uncertainty flourishes, and that's entertainment. So I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. Most important takeaway from here is knowing who you are. Knowing how to express yourself in whatever direction. At the job, until you die, or over here, saying, well, what's next? Both individuals will find joy in what they do, and both will look at one another thinking that they are missing out on something. I talked about that last time, the fear of missing out. That exists there with certainty and uncertainty. So just find out what you're doing. It's taken me many years to get here. I didn't start this shit just yesterday. I did not. It took me a long time to realize I love helping people. It took me a long time to get there. But along the journey, guess what I've been doing? Helping people. Just ask my first wife, Carla. She'll tell you. This guy will pull over. Well, she probably will use another word to describe me, but she'll tell you. So that's what I really want to talk about today, really, is kind of just, if you live in certainty, how you have to kind of understand what the mundane might be, what the repetitiveness might be, that doesn't drive you crazy, because that's what it is. And if you live in a world of uncertainty, hell, just embrace it. Adapt, learn, adjust. Because when you go back over, if you try to go back over into that world of certainty and work that job, it won't last long. It will not last long, because that's not who you are. So just remember that today. Do I live in a world of certainty, which we all kind of need? Or do I live in a world of uncertainty, which we all kind of need? Yin and yang. That's my message today. You guys have a fantastic week. Know who you are. Remember, there is greatness inside of you, and life is never happening to you. It's always happening for you. You gotta think that way, because if you don't, shit's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy. Life is happening for you. Let me go on out. Joy. I gotta go throw the ball. You guys have a fantastic week. Reach out. Share this message. Please. Have a great day.